They want to do no work on the group project? Fine.
We'll all fail.
And there was no way I was letting this slide. I emailed him back, linking him to the GitHub I used to share the code with the team. GitHub shows basically who made changes to the code, so it's easy to track. It's like Google Docs for code. And then it showed him that all the commits, the versions of the code, were done by me, which proved I did all the coding. And thankfully, we did the whole report on Google Drive, so you can see the history on that document. And I sent him screenshots of the alterations made by me, proving that I wrote about 20% of the report also. He added it all up and made a special exception for my group, saying he would give me most of the credit for the work. I think I ended up with a 65%, and they got an 11% for the whole coursework part A. They would need a 69% to even pass the module. So it turned out I effed up a bit on the code and only got about 50% of the marks with like a massive issue, dumb me. But my report sections were near perfect. Spelling mistakes were common, blah, blah, blah. There were a few glaring mistakes, but overall it wasn't that bad. And then when the group members found out their marks, they started calling me up and emailing me and messaging me almost for about 3 hours. I was happily out at the time and didn't have my phone with me, so didn't respond. So they're freaking out because they got 11s on their report.
You know, where were all these calls and texts when I was working on the assignment, guys?
Yeah, working on the group project.
I missed those calls.
My module organizer sent an email explaining that they had lied and he had proof about it, so corrected the marks accordingly. When I got back to my phone, I screenshotted all the messages they had sent and recorded all the voicemails, including the ones they had sent previously, including multiple occasions when they told me to F off. And F off I did. I sent all these voicemails and screenshots to my module organizer requesting that I leave my group and understand that it's more work for me to do, but I'd rather not deal with these terrible group members. He agreed and also escalated the messages to someone higher up. At this point, I quit the group and decided to work on part B all by myself, taking all the code with me, and he removed their access from all of it. I, of course, asked my module organizer first if this was fine, as it was my work, and if I no longer was in the group, the others couldn't submit it. I fixed the error in the code in about 2 weeks and then did the whole report from scratch, which took him about 7 weeks. I then get messages from the group saying, please come back. We really need you, we really need you on this stuff, and the assignment's due in a few days.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
They even offered to pay me. I screenshot it and send it to the module organizer just to let him know what's happening and then ignore them. I ended up submitting 2 weeks early for the deadline and got 100% on the whole of section 2.
Wow.
Which is basically unheard at university, especially by yourself for a group project. Later that day, I get an email from a plagiarism and collusion officer